Well, hello. We're going to go on another walk today. It's Saturday, November 16th. It's 9 degrees Celsius, and we're in Belgrade, Serbia. So we're just going to go wander around a bit. No particular aim. I think I'm going to go towards the Capitol building today. You see how Christmas decorations are going up here and there. That's pretty typical. I know where I'm from, Burbank, California, Home Depot, they started putting their Halloween decorations up at the end of August, and I mean the day after Halloween, Christmas is up. I love Christmas. Christmas was a magical time for me as a child. Of course it is. It's supposed to be. But my parents, they came from Europe. They came from Germany, Austria. My grandmother would come visit during that time generally. And she would bring things from Austria. And of course, you know, it was just like magic. Because those items didn't belong in America. They didn't come from America. So it seemed like to me as a child, hey, these came from Santa. And I'm sure it's been a complaint of Christmas for a long time now, but the commercialization, it's turned me off. It really has. So, I'm going to try to keep myself talking about different things. I've been getting some comments. I appreciate the comments, good or bad. I appreciate them a lot. Yeah, please take the time. If you take the time to comment, please let me know. What would you like me to see? Where would you like me to walk, if you know Belgrade? And what would you like me to talk about? Would you like me to kind of butcher the history of my new city? Or would you like me to ramble on about just things that are on my head? Today we'll do a little of both. So I spent all day, and yesterday for that matter, by myself. I haven't spoken to anyone, which makes it harder. Makes it harder to just start yapping away about stuff. So if there's some dead air, that's the reason why. I'm not a born announcer, and I don't feel I have the gift of gab. It comes and goes. So we're walking directly into the sun. Hey, yesterday I was thinking about all these topics that I could chat about. And now that I've thought about them all, it's like I've already done that. So now I have to come up with some new topics to talk about. So I can keep praising the city. That's an easy thing to do. It's really amazing. You know, I worked at Warner Brothers on the main lot in Burbank 26 years. And even before that, my father did. I ran around on that lot. And the lot, it's basically, you know, it's a lot of stages, and it's a lot of exterior sets that are just permanent. Like they have New York Street, and they used to have an old West Town and things like that. When I first came here and I looked out the window of my hotel room, and I was up pretty high in the building, so I was looking out over rooftops. It resembled Mary Poppins to me. It's definitely, it's not as shocking to me anymore because I've been here a couple years, but it still feels a little like a set. Which is going to segue into what I want to talk about. Some of the age of these buildings. Now I'm of the belief, I shouldn't say that. I like to entertain the concept of mud floods, and that something happened on this planet, be it by man or, you know, off Earth or nature, whatever it was, that devastated the planet. And not that long ago. Let's just say 300 years ago, or we can even say 500 years ago. So, planet's devastated, limited amount of humans left, and of course there's still some structures, like this one here. That one there, that's the Moscow Hotel. Not every building is ancient, but many of them are. In fact, you can kind of see from the outside, from their facade, what they're made out of, that they look like something that's potentially ancient. So if that was the case, humans just inherited some of these structures. Probably the first one inside claimed it. The first group of people that were strong enough to keep it claimed it. And slowly but surely, you know, as we repair the damage of the world, the buildings that were uninhabitable became inhabitable, and they're still here. Although the narrative is different. The narrative tells us, hey, they were built 100 years ago, 200 years ago. Here in Europe, maybe 300 years ago. So why would this be hidden from the population? Well, maybe to reset humanity on a level that, you know, the resets we talk about can't even compare. And what if already energy, like electricity and various vehicles and tools of all kinds, technology of all kinds, what if all that was already available? Maybe at a different level, maybe not on the same technology, evolution line we have now, maybe completely different. Maybe things that, levitation with frequencies and all types of other concepts were employed, and they were all existing. But, some people that were at the top of the food chain had the power to manipulate. They changed our history just by changing the narrative, and helped us develop petrol engines of all kinds instead of what was free. Now it's costs money. It's an interesting concept. At the very least, it's something that, I like to explore. I like to contemplate, just so that way I'm prepared for all types of other things. I don't have my mind locked in on a certain, history that may or may not be true. And the people that are in charge today, they're oblivious. They know as much about it as I do. They feel, you know, that building is only 200 years old. Why not? I mean, you believe the history that you're told. This building across the street, by the way, this is a big fountain that they're redoing here. This is a big capital works project. This building across the street, it's old. It's actually a museum. Do you see the columns? It's funny that the columns have a place on top. Like they actually have a flat piece on top, a brick on top of the column. But there's not one on the bottom. And the way the bottom windows are, they're like cut in half. It seems very likely that this building was at least another floor taller. That there was that much earth that didn't exist right there. There's a lot of this type of evidence, and this is what we call mud floods, mud flood evidence. I'm going to make a video on this topic, so please stay tuned for that. Whenever they dig, like they're digging right here, and across the street they're digging. When they first started, I saw a lot of evidence of, you know, an older civilization that was underneath. Lots of brick, just like, you know, 5 and 10 feet down. Or I should say meters, 3 meters down. So for those of you that are paying attention to my rambling, I have a question. Is this the Serbian White House? Is this where President Vučić lives? If so, I think that's really cool. I'm shooting right into the sun, so it's probably difficult to see, but they have well manicured gardens that will literally be under snow in a month, or maybe 2 at the most. No dog poop. Yeah, maybe that's Vučić, Mr. President Vučić's pad. This is a really nice park. Serbia's full of really nice parks. Even in English. It's very kind of you. Thank you. Because my knowledge of Serbian is very little, and I'm just not catching on fast enough. Language is not my specialty. Neither is numbers, for that matter. It's amazing I've progressed as far as I have and not forgot how to breathe. Anyways, this is the Capitol building. I noticed that they usually have, or they've had, like a fence around it. And now that's not there. That looks like an ancient structure. I'll have to walk across the street just to get a shot of those statues. They're very impressive. But before we do that, I think we're gonna just make a little trip through the park here. This is like Belgrade Central Park. I wonder what it looked like here 100 years ago. And what do you think it's going to look like 100 years from now? It's like Back to the Future. Look at this. So here's a box. It's got power. There's a breaker. There's a couple network cables. Some kind of breakout box. And you know what? Cameras. Yeah, it's the modern world. Doesn't especially bother me. Look at that. See? Free Wi-Fi from MTS. That's nice. Yeah, it's funny. People look at me. Right now, my hair is completely slicked. Let's see. I'll point this at me for a second. You see, my hair is all slicked back. And that's because I just got out of the shower. It's 2 o'clock. Here in Serbia, people think I'm crazy because I leave the house with wet hair. But that's what I do. I've always done that. In fact, there's an obsession with being warm here, at least in my opinion, and also because I'm the opposite of that. I'm always warm. It's like my ancestors, they were from the Arctic, and I think they also suck rocks for nutrients, because I swear I don't need a lot of food to get fat. I eat very little for the amount of weight I gain so easily. Working at Warner Brothers, we used to joke about the actors. Actors, especially women, they are nearly emaciated. I mean, unless they're, lucky to have the DNA that has that super skinny figure, a lot of them are struggling to keep it, because the camera, honestly, it puts on those pounds. It adds some pounds. And in the morning, we would go to breakfast. It's a nice feather. We would go to breakfast in the commissary, and literally sometimes I'd see actresses walk around, just kind of smell the eggs and the bacon, and I'd say, "Oh, I'm full now," and they would walk out. Yeah, we have an abundance of food on this planet. It's a crime that some people are starving. And also the foods we have. I mean, nobody wants to eat anything that doesn't taste good. But it's a whole different thing to eat for your health. That's interesting. There's an art gallery. There's quite a few galleries, I must say. National Gallery, Belgrade. Hey, seafood. So we're going to cross the street here, and we're going to head back towards the Capitol building. You can see by the coats that it is kind of chilly. Well, like I said, it's 9 degrees out. Not that cold. bomber jackets. It's like New Year's Eve kind of wear. There's a movie theater. Andy. So I'm gonna walk past one of the Starbucks. I don't know, last time I think I said I know of 3 Starbucks here. I know of 4 for sure. But more than Starbucks, I like Cafeteria and then Coffee Dream. But one of the things that we're gonna cross here is we're gonna cross the post office, which I think has evidence of mud flood. Go explore that.